There we go. Now I'm going to shift this. Oh, just so that this camera isn't in your way, hopefully. Oh, where? Okay. I'm just gonna go on TikTok as well. We're gonna get going.
Alberta's oldest general store. It's 7 minutes north of Edmonton. It's still owned and operated by the same family 4 generations later. So of course we're going.
Oh, we don't really care about that. Oops, I don't know how I flipped that so quickly. So okay. All righty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my home. Actually, this is my home studio here in Timmins, Ontario. And you're going to get a slightly different view if you're looking on TikTok than if you're looking on the YouTube channel. So we're a little bit everywhere today. We are getting ready. I'm going to put these alphabetties away while I wait for some people to come on. We're going to sew the Possibilities Quilt block of the month. We're going to sew block 5 and 6. I'm going to sew one of each live anyways, making sure that you can see how I'm sewing it together. It's not necessarily a class where I'm teaching you how to sew it together. I'm guiding you through how I'm sewing it together. I haven't sewn these blocks yet. So we're going to learn it together. So I'm going to start with block 5 because I didn't do it last month. And again, I apologize for that because life just got busy and the months went by so fast. I think I'm still back in like the first week of May. Like to say it's June and to know that Quilt Canada is coming up in 2 weekends. Yeah, no, I am just, I don't know if it's age or if it's the fact that, we're just busy people. I don't know what it is, but it feels like everything is crazy. So we're going to start with block. So yesterday, I know I kind of cut myself off there. This is block 6. So there's all my pieces for block 6, all cut. So everything is pre-cut. When I come on these lives to show you how I'm going to sew it together, I do try really hard to cut everything prior to. I'm trying to keep that out of that camera view over there. I do try to keep everything so that you can see it. So I'm not wasting time cutting fabric. I did that last night. It wasn't recorded or anything like that. It was just me cutting up the fabric. And I can't give you the cutting dimensions because it's not my pattern, but it's fairly simple. And this is traditionally pieced. There's no, oh, good morning, Laura. There's no foundation paper in this one. So I'm going to make one block and then I'll make the other blocks as time permits. Maybe not here live today, but I will make them over the course of the next month so that I'm ready when July comes around, or at least ready when it's time to assemble the quilt. But hopefully now that I have them cut and sitting here, I'll be able to make them. And I might be able to make them all today, but I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'm in the midst, there's a forest fire near us, about 86 kilometers away, to the southwest, I believe. I don't know how I think I'm really bad with directions, but I'm assuming it's kind of southwest, or maybe it's west southwest. I'm not sure how all of that works, but anyways, there is a forest fire, so we pray that burn the bush. We know that that's part of how nature replenishes itself, but don't burn people's homes. A cottage it's not as bad as a home. I know that's maybe isn't the right thing to say, but really, I think if I had a choice, burn the camper, keep the house. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I don't know. But if I had to pick, I think that's what I would choose. Anyways, we pray for them and we ask Creator to protect that community of Matagami. And they're saying with the wind change, it might go to the city of Gogama. I think there's about 200. I don't know how many people live in Gogama, a couple hundred. So we pray that they Creator keeps them safe as well. And it is raining out. I hope the rain is there too. I hope it rained a bit more over there than it did here, because we really need it and the bush really needs it. So lots of rain. A good week of just downpours would be amazing. It really would help. And it's so dry. Like there's not a lot of puddles and things like that. It's very bad. It tripled, I think, in size in like a day or something, or doubled. Tripled or doubled. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I got really big really quick. And it's so dry. And we had a lot of snow, but there wasn't a lot of moisture in the snow from my understanding. Again, I'm not a scientific person. I'm not a person who understands weather, but that's what I understand. I think I'm going to put on, I don't know if I put on, I'm going to put on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Just so that nobody calls. All right. It's on the news. It's a big fire. It's a really big fire. And they had one a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago. There was another big fire in that area, and it was caused by a train making sparks. So there's already been a lot of stress, and we have a lot of people already evacuated from up the coast. And it's just more people. Like, I don't think the province can handle all of these evacuees. And I think people want to just go home. People don't want to be out. All right, so we are showing possibilities blocks 5 and 6. Let me show you the quilt. I know everyone's excited to see the quilt. So this is the quilt here. It's a beautiful quilt. It has beautiful stars, and it's a lot of fun. So far, it's fun. See how it looks when it all goes together. Because maybe that will be like, oh, it's not that much fun. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the quilt at the end of the session. I guess it depends on how I feel about the quilt. I might just give it away. I might keep it. I don't know. So let's start with this pink here. I'm going to lay out all of my strip pieces because there's a couple of different sizes of strips. Those are the same size as those. So I'm going to lay out so you can see here, I've laid out my 3 sets of strips. And then I have all of these background squares. So I'm just going to, actually, I'll just take these over here. I'm going to move those out of the way. I did tidy up my desk. I don't know. I can't move the YouTube channel camera, but there, I cleaned up my cutting table. What I would really like to do, and this might be a dream for a year or from now or something, is I'd like to put actual cupboards, have an actual counter desk here as opposed to maybe a desk. And then I can have lots of drawers on the side and really utilize the space. I think that's what I would like, is some cupboards. Not big, deep cupboards like I have downstairs with 4 shelves, even just two shelves in there around the perimeter, or in some areas, just some nice cabinetry that fits the space instead of trying to find something that fits. Anyways, that's a dream. It may never happen, but it's okay. You can dream about things. This desk works really good. It does work well. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut the medium dark blue squares diagonally in half. So you're going to cut these in half. Okay, so I'm not going to cut all of them in half right now. I'm just going to cut some. I don't know how many I need per, well, if we're making 4 blocks and I had to cut 16, we need 4 per block. So 1, 2, 3, hang on. These are not cut very straight accurately, are they? Well, that one isn't. Oh no, it's just me laying it down. It's not very accurate. Okay, so 2. There we go. So I'm going to cut these diagonally in half. I didn't do that yet. And I'm going to do it now. So we're going to cut diagonally from corner to corner in half. So there we go. Cut. I'm going to keep the other ones over there. All right. So now we have 8 triangles. I'm just gonna try to turn this a little bit for you. I just don't want to turn it too much and then you can't see the machine, because then I have to turn it back. This works pretty good other than the lighting, and I can't control the lighting. That's natural light coming in. I can't do much about that. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is, so now they say to make a template. I didn't make a template. I simply cut my piece at the right size. I didn't make a template. It's supposed to be 1 1/4. I cut it at 1 1/2. These are all 1.5 though. I guess these are supposed to be a little thinner. So I'm going to cut it now. Just when I was cutting it, I was cutting it from 1.25, and I thought, oh, I'll just leave it and I can trim them up later. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Just trim it. Is that the right piece? Yeah, that's the right piece. Okay, so I'm going to trim these ones now because I remembered I cut them a little bigger, and now I knew I would just, because I had cut 1.5 inch strips, it just made sense to do that. Okay. So this is in turn of making the template. I don't think you need it. And I was advised by someone who's, good at these things, said, you don't need it. So now we're going to lay this down on here and it's going to hang over, but we're going to stitch 1/4 inch. I think you can see that. You can kind of see that, not really. Is that light? Maybe I'll turn that light a little bit. Can you see? Kind of. I'm just stitching a straight line and you don't really need to see it. Not really. I don't think this pattern has pressing instructions. It just says, sew each template piece between 2 medium dark blue triangles. That's exactly what she says. And you're going to do that. You're going to make 4 of those. It doesn't say that here, but you're going to make 4 of those. So let's do the next one. Again, just laying it out. You can have it overlap. It works if it overlaps a little bit. So we're going to sew all 4 of them here. Matching them up, sliding them, making sure everything is lined up accurately. What time is it where you are right now? Looks bright out. It is 5:11. We are Eastern Standard Time. It's deceiving that it is bright, but it's cloudy out. It's raining, drizzling. It is bright. I think it's deceiving. I have lots of lights in here too. I'm thinking of ways to make the camera experience better. So looking at different ways. I've bought a couple of different things over the years to work with my lives because I don't edit my videos. I just have a camera running. And we'll see. We'll see. I would like to get, a couple of cameras so that I can switch back and forth. That's a lot of work. And all I want to do is sew. I just invite you along with me, but really all I want to do is sew. I don't really care about anything else. At this point, anyways. Here's just a bonus block just to get that through there so I can cut it. Let's go back over here. We're going to press these. We're going to cut them apart and then we're going to press them. So we're going to take them over to the iron. I'm going to move this just a bit. There we go. Take these over to the iron and I'm going to press to the dark. I'm going to press to that dark blue. At least for me, it's dark. Now you can change your colors. When you're making a pattern, if you're not using the kit, you can pretty much use anything you want. I don't know if this still comes with a kit, probably not. It's kind of an older pattern. But you don't have to follow it exactly. You just have to know what you're doing. So if you change something, you need to make sure that you know what you're doing. For the simple fact that if you forget, nobody else is going to remember either. All right. I'm just trying to turn that a little bit. There we go. Okay, so what we have now is, it looks like a party hat. Woohoo, birthday party. Okay, that's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our other blue triangles, okay, and we're going to sew that to the other side, having it kind of almost in the identical space, but on the other side of that template or on that triangle. So making them nice and even as best as you can. We are going to square these up. What does it say? It doesn't say how big it is. I think it's supposed to be 6 6.5 inches. Because how big were these when I cut them? These were 6. You might go back down to 6. We'll see what size they are, then we can tell you what size to trim them up to. But I think they're 6. 6 inches square. It doesn't say though, and I don't like that. So if I had to make a correction in this, I would say square up to, or your piece should measure, or whatever, however you want to say it. I prefer when they have it. Because all it says at the end is your piece should be, yeah, so I think it'd be 6. Then you have a 1/2 inch, 2 piece, yeah, I think it'd be 6. I'm so excited to be sewing this block because I haven't, as I mentioned, I was a little delayed in getting this done. Just, and it's not anything, I didn't get them cut. A lot of times when I came in, I didn't have the time to press the fabric and cut it. And then it was like, I can't do it this day because I have this. I can't do it that day because I have that. I don't know if I have enough time on this day to, do the quilt. So that was part of the problem, was, do I have enough time? And I've been working Fridays. I don't normally work Fridays. And I've been working Fridays because it's just there was things that needed to be done, or we had something going on, or who knows, things. Actually, I could have worked today and did some long arming on some quilts, but I decided that I can't keep doing that. I'm going to lose my mind. So I took the day off. And this quilt might go to a survivor. I don't know for sure. But to me, this isn't work. This is enjoyable. I'm at my own pace. Got you to 1,000 likes. Hope your quilt goes well. Thank you. Love it. Thank you for all the likes. I really appreciate it. Yesterday, I was able to share on Facebook that I've had 1 million likes. 1 million likes, which is really cool, I think. I think it's cool. I don't know. Well, thank you to everyone who did that. So now I'm going to go press these again to the blue, and then we'll trim them up. So this is will be on our YouTube channel, Quilts for Survivors. So if you want to go back and see, it will be just like it is here. So I don't edit them. It'll be live. You can fast forward, rewind, whatever you need to do. Now, my 6.5-inch block is at the camper. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to cut these to 6 inches. Pretty sure that's what that's basically what it's coming out to, 6 inches. So you just want to make sure that you have your 45-degree line in the center of this template. So I'm taking my 45-degree line and eyeballing it to the center of that. To the center of that pink stripe. In this case, it's pink. The center of that stripe. And the reason I'm doing that is so that it's even. I don't want, again, one of my blocks being larger than the, one side being larger than the other. I want it to be as even as possible, as accurate as possible. So I made sure. If you want to use the template, you can, but you don't need to. So that's proof that you don't need the template. It might help you though, if you're learning, it might help you. But thank you to Laura for telling me not to use the template. Saved me from cutting on that crazy template. The template is, I had it out so you could see it. There's one for each block. I don't know where I put it down. Oh, there's the template. Okay. That's all it is. It's nothing. You can use it if you want to. It's definitely, something you can do. So I'm going to trim this to 6. And then we're going to trim the other side. So I'm just trimming both sides all the way around, making sure it's accurate. It's 6 inches, not 6.5 that I'm trimming to. And I think they turned out really nice. I did cut my original squares. It does say 7/8. in the pattern, I cut it to a whole size. I did not want to cut 7/8. I would prefer not to, and I knew that I would, it gives me a little extra, so I might be trimming off more than maybe what you would be trimming if you did the 7/8. I chose not to do that. All right, so I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for a couple of things, waiting for the laundry to be done so I can put it away. Waiting for my groceries to be delivered so I can put away what's staying home and pack up what's coming. And I'm waiting for Dave to finish work. So once Dave is done, we're out of here. Packing up and we're going. And yeah, that will be fun. And I have on Monday, I have a fairly large thing being delivered. So I will share that with you. I don't know if I talked about what I recently decided to buy. Oh, thanks, Laura. But I'm excited about it. So I will share that with you on, well, maybe I'll go live when it comes in and then just be like, woohoo! Okay. So yeah, and the kids aren't home on Monday, so I'll get a little bit of time to just do that. Okay, what are these supposed to be? Why are these so short? Maybe these are supposed to be shorter. No, that's right. No, these are the right size. I was like freaking out for a minute. Oh, it goes this way. I'm gonna lay it out and then we will sew it together. Now, solids do not have a right or wrong side, but they don't, not really. Not really, but sometimes I feel like a certain way is just brighter, or I don't know, maybe it's just me. They don't really have a right or wrong way. I think they kind of do though. Sometimes I can feel like if I flip it this way, it just looks better. So now you're going to put all of your little squares with your strip in your corners. You're going to have your long pieces going to go here in the center horizontal, and then your two smaller pieces are going to go vertical in the center. Isn't that a great looking block? I think it looks great. I'll be right back. Sorry. Go far. Go far. I just didn't want them to take my package. They did leave it, but sometimes they take them. Anyways, let's get back to sewing. Right. So this is essentially like an eye patch, kind of. Not really, but it's a quick and easy block to sew together. So we're going to make 4 in the colors suggested in the pattern. So the colors, again, are dark pink, light pink, medium red, and dark orange. That's what's suggested. You, of course, can do whatever your little heart desires. Now, the only thing different with this is there's nothing to sew in this middle. So we have to do the top and the bottom, and then we can sew it together. Again, no pressing instructions. Press it however you want, because these seams do not affect these seams because there's a strip in between. So no issues there. So I just pressed it towards the pink. It seemed to lay nice and flat. It's not shaking when she is sewing, so maybe it was the table she was on. Yes, it was. If I put the little camera here and I'm sewing, it'll shake. I have put weights on it, so it should be shaking now because I have it on a shelf, over attached to a shelf. You can't see it. So it probably was shaking before. So I apologize for that. Sometimes I'm trying to find an overhead lamp that will work for my setting where I won't be bonking into it every time. Bumping in or, walking into it. I could put it and where it won't be in my way and where it won't be shaking. So I'm, trying to figure out what's best. So I could get one that clamps on the table, but it could shake. I could get one that goes on the floor, but it could be in my way. I need one that like hangs from the ceiling or something, so it's not in my way. All right, so pressing again, nice and flat. Ooh, this looks really good. This is coming together a lot better than I anticipated. So there's my my first three pieces together for my top row. And then I'm going to sew the center together. I will show you some progress I made earlier today. And then I was making a really fun block with tiny pieces. I sent it to Dave and he was like, "What the heck, girl? I thought you were crazy because I didn't think you were that crazy." I'm like, well, it was fun. I made a boo-boo though, so I have to fix it. And they're such small pieces, I think it's better to just cut them than to fix them. That seems crazy, but okay, I don't have any bonus blocks there. Here's just these together. Yeah. Also these two together. Do have to pick up two more things before I'm ready to go. I'll do that after. I was out earlier when I got the kids off to school, but they have, you drop them off and some places are not open till 9 or 9:30, so I have to go back out, which is fine. All right, so now I'm stitching down. Stitching down. A lot of fun. You're not really lining anything up. So hopefully things are just lined up naturally because there really isn't a way other than kind of up here telling if my pieces are lined up or not. So definitely a lot of fun sewing together. And it's a lot easier than I thought. I don't know what I thought why I thought it would be harder than that. I have no idea why I anticipated it being a little tougher than what it was. Because this came together so easily, like 20 minutes or something. Look at that. So there's some comments here. I'm going to read them. Hang on. Looks great. Did you get an arrow chair? No, it's nothing like that. Nothing for the sewing room, something for outside. Did you get someone else asked. No, I did not get a chair. Maybe one day. I think someone would have a heart attack if they found out how much those chairs cost. You are so fast. I do sew very fast. The board, they're not avid quilters. They can sew, but they're not avid quilters. They always go, okay, you say that took you X amount of hours. Is that your hours or is that the standard? They're like, because we have to know how long it would take an average person to sew. She goes, because you're not average. So I do sew rather fast. But I've been doing this for almost 40 years. So that's the block. You're going to make 4 of them. Again, dark pink, light pink, orange, and medium red. I think this is dark orange, yeah. So we're going to skip this one. And we're going to go make block 6. The reason I'm doing this is I didn't want to miss block 5, but I also don't want to be make a video that's so long nobody wants to watch it. So we're going to go and make block 6 now. Okay. Cut the medium blue squares in half diagonally. So again, you're going to cut these. So let's cut up a couple of them. I don't know how many that is. There was a fire truck today. When I went out to Canadian Tire, there was a fire truck, and now I hear sirens again, and he was going fast. He had his He had the horn on and he was going. I don't know. This is what I was told. I don't know how true this is. I've never actually asked a fireman myself. Um, but their horn is actually a pedal, so they can just lay it on and still have really good control of their truck. So that's kind of fun. So now let's make an orange one, just because that's what I have on top here. Orange. I'm going to take some of these half H's, these triangles. So now we have our, oops, there's like a crease in that now. Okay. So there's our long piece. Then we have two short pieces, and then we have our 4 pieces. So we're going to do just like we did last time. It's called Possibilities by Charisma Horton. I think it's I think I paid $35 for the pattern. It is instant download, so you can get it and start today. We are on block 6. It is designed as a block of the month. I didn't create it. I'm just sewing it because, why am I sewing this? I'm trying to remember if there was a specific reason. This one I wasn't asked to sew this one by anyone. I think I just sewing it because I like it. I think it'll be really fun. And I might end up keeping it. As my like fun with college quilt. Okay, and one more. I don't know if I grabbed 8 or just cut up a bunch. Doesn't matter. So again, I didn't make the little template. I just cut them. I measured the template and cut it that way. Well, I forgot to cut these thinner. I think I forgot to cut them thinner. I think I had left them. I'm not sure. I can cut them before I sew it to the other. It's there. So I love to chain piece. So I'm always cutting my little threads apart there. Find it easier. I really do. And I love it. I'm going to cut these thinner. They're too thick. I don't think it matters, but oh, I only have 3. I thought I did 4. Oh, damn. I thought I did 4. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Ah, confusing myself. Okay. So I'm going to trim these a 1/4 inch off. These were supposed to be a little thinner. So let's take a moment and just cut these. I want them to be, we're just going to trim it just so they're a little thinner. You could leave it, I guess, but you'd have less blue. As long as you did them all the same, it doesn't matter. As long as you do everything the same, it won't matter. All your 4 blocks. So this one again, oh, sorry, we're going to make 5 of these blocks. This one we get 5. The big one we get 4. There we go. I could have cut that. I guess I should have just cut them last time at that, but it was getting late and I was getting tired. Okay, so now we have our little party hats again. I think they look so cute. I lost my husband in December. I just now starting to want to see again. Oh, to sew again. Oh, I bet that would be difficult. I can't even imagine losing a husband. I'm sorry for your loss. I can't even imagine. I've been very fortunate and I haven't really lost anyone super close to me. Like the people that I've lost were older, they were sick. I don't want to see them suffer as much as I miss them. I've never had anyone tragically taken from me. My parents are still alive. My ex-husband is still alive. So my kids still have their daughters. And my partner's still with me. He's older than I am, so the odds of us, odds of not having him, well, I'll have to spend, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to feel. I remember talking to him because he's lost his dad. His mom's still alive. She's going to be 100 this year. We were talking about, well, I miss him every day, his dad. I said, I can't even imagine. Like, my parents are still alive. They're relatively healthy. They're just getting old. They don't have any severe health issues right now. They're just getting old. And I guess my dad had some, just signs of being older. And his coworker said, we're getting old. Like, things are going to start wearing out. It's inevitable. Our bodies are not designed to live forever. But sewing definitely can mend. I know it sounds silly, but it can mend the heart. It's actually good for you to get out and be creative. As adults, we don't often use that creative part of our brain very much. Why is there? And it's good for us to get out and use that part of our brain. Kids use it a lot when they're playing. They use that part of their brain that's for creativity. We as adults do not use it as much. And that's where hobbies and crafting, those type of things come in handy because they get us using that part of our brain we don't use a lot. So it'll help you as you continue to grieve your loss and to move forward in a good way. And in my culture, being Indigenous, they're never gone. They've just passed over to the spirit world. And now they're back where we all need to be, back in the spirit world, back with our ancestors, back in a place where life is just different. What we do there, I'm not sure how it works, but I know that my two children that I lost are up there. I had two miscarriages early on in my first trimester of pregnancy, and I know they're up there in the spirit world, and my ancestors are taking care of them. They're up there. They got to meet my grandparents, and we're gonna cut these to. Sorry, just a second. That piece, how long is that piece for? These are gonna be cut to 4. And that's where they are. They're up there with my ancestors. And they're taking care of my babies. And they're giving them everything that they need. And one day I will get to meet these babies of mine. And I really believe that. I really believe that that's where I should have cut that a little longer. I don't know if these are going to work out. I should have cut them a little bit longer. They're not long enough, I don't think. My little strips, they're a little bit short. Just a bit. I should have cut them at 5.5 instead of 5. Just because they're a little short. But I think this corner is a little shorter than that corner. I think they'll be okay. So that's what I believe. That's where I find courage. And I believe sometimes that, our ancestors, the spirit world can come back and talk to us. I don't think that the creator would give us these beautiful people in our lives just to rip them, take them away. I don't think that that's a benefit to anybody. So that's what I don't know all the teachings about the spirit world, the afterlife, but this is what I feel in my spirit. And I think I get that from my ancestors, from the creator, from a life. I'm trying to live a good life. And I think being a very spiritual person, that's what I see is a good life. Okay. So we are just trimming these up. I think if I had to cut the center again, I've cut all mine already. I would have cut them a little longer than what I did, 1/2 inch or so bigger. Longer. Wide, they were wide enough. Cut them about 1/2 inch wider, longer. Heck, you could cut them as long as you want because it doesn't really matter because you'll just cut off what you don't need. And I'd rather waste a little bit of fabric than have something that doesn't quite fit. Accuracy to me is more important. So I do have some leftover triangles. I'm just going to save those for another block. So now we're going to lay this out similar to how we laid it out before. I'm going to put my shorter pieces in the center here just so that I can catch them now and I don't have to deal with them later. The ones that are a little bit short. This one actually worked out really well. Again, that center piece, and then you have two vertical center pieces, and then it's all going to come out, and it's not finished yet. Okay, this, you'll have this center. It doesn't tell you how big it is. Oh, it's 8.5. This will come out to 8.5. We are going to make it a 12.5-inch block, but for right now, it's going to be 8.5. I'm going to make sure that that sews. Stinker. Okay, this one's. All right, so we're going to sew down. So again, we need to make the top and the bottom because the center is just one piece of fabric. So I'm going to press that. That is, I think I'm going to have to put some orange on there because that doesn't match up. So you can see here that my piece was too short. So if it gets in the 1/4 inch, I'm not going to worry about it. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have just a slight. Just checking my 1/4 inch seam to see maybe I'm a little shy there. Maybe I'm a little. I just sew that a little. Let me sew that again. That's not going to help me, is it? Okay. Well, next time I will make them longer for sure. I'm just going to play around with this. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to fix it after. Okay. Oops. So for right now, I'm going to sew this together and see how it works. And the other ones, I might just recut them and cut them longer. After them longer, even at 6, just to make sure that I don't lose anything. This is, let's see, where's the 1/4 inch from there? Where's it going to be? Okay, so I'm going to sew this to this. I'm going to, I should press it. Press it. I will make my other, I should have measured that template. I don't think I measured it. I should have left a seam on, I guess. Because I'm pitching down, sewing it down to that template. Or in my case, my stripped piece. There we go. Good thing I checked and didn't make all of them because they all would have been a little bit off. That's okay. I'm going to fix it and we'll have a nice block at the end. And if I have to, I'll remake it. It's not a big deal. I try to be very accurate and do a really good job, but I'm not perfect. And that's another reason why I go live is because sometimes I make little mistakes. How do you think it would look with print and solid? Oh, I think it would look great. If you got the right print for the solids, if you got a really good print for those solids, I think it would look great. I just need to, I have to resew this. It's not quite where I need it to be. If it wasn't, I would say not too busy. If it's too busy, it might take away from it. But I think if you did, you could do it. If you had the right blend of solid with print, I think you could get a really nice block. I really do. Yep. I'm not using any print because I wanted to do it the way it was done in the book. But you could definitely put a nice print in here. This one might not come out as accurately as but you know what? We're doing what we can. Okay, so I'm going to switch it down. This is being set. Here we go. Stitch it. It is being a little bit off, but all good, all good, all good. Okay. Let's go. I'm just gonna grab another bonus block. These are stuck together. Perfect. I'm almost out of HSTs, which makes me very happy because I've had some of them for months. So this one is not perfect. It's a little bit inaccurate because of my seams. So I will have to, I'm going to just remake it. But there's is what you do. There's the block. I'm going to recut these orange pieces because they're too, it's not accurate enough for me. So I'm going to fix it, which when I was a younger quilter, I didn't care. I didn't care that they weren't as accurate as they should be. I would just be like, well, I'll learn. And I wouldn't trim, I wouldn't check. And so then you sew the two sides on, and then you sew this and that, and then you get your 12.5-inch block. So that's what it's going to look like. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take this apart. Actually, I'm just going to cut. Actually, I'm not going to take it apart. That's what not to do. Let's remake this block. We have time. If you don't want to watch, that's how that block turns out. But mine is not accurate enough. I'm going to find the orange that I cut up. I think there my scrap in here. That's not the right orange. No. And this isn't the first time I've made mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I just really love to sew. And that's what I do is I sew because I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, there's a piece. I don't think that's the wrong color. So see there. I knew I had a basket for my leftovers. Do you think I could find it last night when I was trying to put my fabric away? No, absolutely not. I don't think that's the right color though. No, that's a lighter color. Okay. Is that the lighter? Oh, here it is. Okay. Haha. Well, that's all. Is that all the same? Yep. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to hit the screen. Okay, so I'm going to remake this block because it's wrong, and I don't like that. It's not accurate enough for me. Okay, so what we're going to do is, actually, I might be able to use this piece. I'm just going to recut a whole bunch of pieces. So I thought I could squeeze it in there, but it didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim this off, get it nice and straight. And we have time. You do not have to watch this if you don't want to. You can fast forward. If you're on YouTube, you can fast forward after the fact and watch as it's done correctly. We'll fast forward it. It's the same stitching. I didn't stitch it wrong. It's just my piece wasn't long enough. How long are these? These are like, oh, these are long. I'm not even going to trim them. I'm just going to use them the way they are right now. The 4 pieces. So I'm going to remake this. I will have to cut a couple extra triangle squares, or I think I might have cut a couple of extra squares anyways. So I'm going to take this apart. Can I take it apart without? No, because I double stitched it. Maybe I'll just leave it. Okay, I'm going to cut another piece at 1.5. So these are 1.25. These are 1.5. I'm going to cut this one at 1.5. This is a 1.5-inch ruler, so it makes it really easy to cut. Sometimes it's easier to just start over. And then we need okay, I think they're okay. I can't give you all the sizes. I need 2 of that and 1 that is like this. So like that. Okay. Oh, you can guess. Oh, I should have a thing. If you guess what I bought, a purchase that I made, that's coming on Monday. If you guess what it is, I will tell you if you're correct. It has absolutely nothing to do with sewing. And it was more then it was a larger purchase that I had to finance. I don't know if that helps. I don't know if I should tell people that I financed. I don't know. Obviously, I mean, how else am I going to buy it? It has nothing to do with sewing at all. So, if you guessed, a patio set. No, I have a really nice patio set actually, out back, and I don't think I would finance a patio set. But that would be really fun to have a really nice. I mean, I have a nice patio set. It does have a table. It has like a coffee table and a love seat and two nice chairs. That's fun. So let's remake this. All right, let's grab some. Where did I put all the triangles? I thought I cut up a bunch. Yeah, here we go. A smoker. Nope. Nope. Dave said he doesn't want to smoke. It takes too long. We did buy a barbecue though. Put that together. That was fun. So now these are the 4 pieces. They're really super long. That's okay. We can trim them down. Maybe I could have got 2 on here, but anyways, they're a little too long. A pool? No, no, I don't want a pool. Nice try though, but I don't want a pool. These are too long. I'm sewing way past, and I don't want a pool. We have a pool, like a blow up, like not a blow up, a stand up pool, not an in ground pool. No, I'll let you keep guessing. A hot tub. Oh, I wish. I wish. Oh my gosh. When the guys next door put in a pool, they have to have it like inserted by a crane. Like they have to have a crane to put it in. They said they might need a crane to put. If I ever got a hot tub, because they might need a crane to carry it in. Like how crazy is that, eh? But a hot tub would be nice. If anyone wants to donate a hot tub to me, I'd take it. Even if it was just one of those blow up hot tubs, that would be fun too. I would love that. Wouldn't be very good up at camp, but it would be great here when we're not at camp. So during the week, sit in the hot tub. Weekends, go up to camp. That would be really nice. And you would use it into, before it gets too cold. Unless it was one of those better ones, you can use them all year round, which is what I would prefer. But keep guessing. I will tell you what it is. I will tell you if you guess it right. So keep on guessing. It probably is something you never thought I would buy, but it's something I never thought I would buy. I never thought I would own one of these. But I think it's going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh. Can't even believe it. All right. That's done. I think I got it in. A truck to haul camper. No. Dave's truck could pull my camper empty. Totally empty, maybe. Quilting machine. No, nothing to do with sewing, and not a trampoline. No, I don't have a big enough yard for a trampoline. I just don't. And I know some people have small yards and they have a trampoline, but I just feel like I don't have a big enough yard. I'll take up my whole yard. And I like having my yard. I like having a place for the dog and a trampoline would just be in the way. And then you end up with a ton of kids in your yard. Not that I don't love the neighborhood kids, but I don't always want to sit outside to watch the kids on the trampoline. That's a big commitment as a neighbor. So keep guessing. You might be surprised at what my answer will be. Okay, I need to cut another. Oh, I have 2 more here. Okay. So I went and made my pieces bigger. Outdoor theater. Nope. It's not a stationary item. Maybe I should say that. It's not a stationary item. Outdoor theater would be kind of cool. Kids would probably like to play their games out there. Have like a Minecraft party night or something where everyone's outside. Okay, so these are better at 6. I probably could have went with 5.5. But it's definitely better. I'm gonna have a nicer blog. Live and learn, I guess. Dirt bike. No, I don't think I'd ever own a dirt bike. No. Close, but no. Not a dirt bike. Ooh. That would be wild. Oh my gosh. Can you see me on a dirt bike? I can't see myself on a dirt bike. No. way. Golf cart. No, not a golf cart. Nope. A little too slow. Little old man. I don't play golf either. So Dave said he'll take me to play golf. I'm like, I don't even know how to play golf. I don't even know if I want to play golf. I don't understand why people walk around on, chasing a ball on grass. Like, I don't know. Trying to get it into a little hole. Men and balls in holes. I don't know. They're always trying to get something somewhere. A little sport that we play. There's more science. What is up with all the science today? I live just up the hill and about a block from the main highway. So I get a lot of, and the ambulance is just about a 5-minute walk, and the firehouse is about the same, the main firehouse. Or quad. I think that's what it's called. It's called an ATV, like an all-terrain vehicle. I would never own a motorcycle. And a side by side are too expensive, but those would be really cool. So I did get a little Honda quad ATV. That's what I bought. So that's coming on Monday. It was supposed to be here today, but because they're shipping it, but that didn't work out. So I'm waiting for my ATV, my quad to come in. So yay! You guessed it. Oh my gosh, that didn't take very long, did it? I never thought I would own one. My dad has a side by side, and Dave has a four-wheeler and or a quad or ATV or whatever you call it. There's lots of different names. And when we were up there, well, not everyone got to go for a ride because Dad's thing only takes two, Dave's only takes one, so three people could go for a ride. And it was like, oh, and then Dave was like, I wish you could come. And then because he went out riding with my parents because they both wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, I wish I could come too. But there's just no room for me. And then there was nowhere to take the kids. So this one, there's room on Dave's bike for a small kid, and there's room on my bike for whoever, because yeah, me and Dave on one bike is too much weight. We're both not small people, so a little bit too much weight. So at least now, when we go up next weekend, I'll be able to drive around with the kids and have just a ton of fun. It'll be fun. So hopefully on Monday, I'll be able to go driving around with it Monday evening. When Dave's done work and he can help me out, or I can just take it. Maybe I'll just go pick it up and just drive it home or something on the trails illegally, not illegally, but I'll have to cross a road at some point to get up to my house. It'll be super fun. I'm so excited. Okay, these are turning out so much better. I don't have that weird corner where there's a hole. Oh, is that for the camper? Yeah, it's for up on the reserve up there. That's where we're gonna drive it around and go exploring and check out the land, and it'll be lots of fun, I think, because everyone has, like, Dad has one, and he's always like, "Come for a ride." And I'm like, no, because I have to leave the kids with someone, so I can go with Dad, and then I have to me and my sister and Dave went, and like me and my sister are on my parents' side, my dad's side by side, I guess, because Mom doesn't call it hers. And then Dave followed us on his four-wheeler. And then my sister took some of the kids, and Dave took Joe. But still, it was like couldn't go too far because they weren't on there, he was driving around. But at least it'll be a little bit of fun, a little bit more fun, for sure. Well, I could technically drive my bike to my parents' house and wait for Dave to pick me up there. At least I got to drive it somewhere because there's back trails. Just you're not really supposed to drive them on the road. So these are working out so much better. So just that small change, and I'm gonna make going back to this, I'm gonna make that change. If I had to use the template, I probably would have got the right size. I did measure it, but I guess I didn't measure it I didn't account for an overhang, I guess. I don't know. I thought I measured it correctly. I guess I didn't. That's about 1/2 inch short. So I'm going to cut all of those pieces in all the colors, just so I have it accurate. Nice accurate block, because trying to make it work, this is what it looks like. Trying to make it work kind of works, but you can see there's a hole there, there's some stitching showing. It just doesn't look good. So that, live and learn. Nobody knows everything. And yeah, just live and learn. So we are almost into an hour here. I almost have this block made. And yeah, you go watch my video. I think I make a mistake in almost every block. But that's okay. You know what? That is okay. I don't have any HSTs left. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just gonna use a scrap then, I guess. I don't have any left. That is unreal. I'll have some more once we start the Dreamcatcher sew along. We're doing that Monday. Monday. I don't know what time yet. Oh, maybe not Monday now. I don't know. The plan was to do it Monday. But we'll see. I can still do it Monday because I can't drive all night. Might be a later, and I don't have the kids, so yeah, I should be fine. Let's do it Monday. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really like sewing scraps if I don't have to. I'm going to grab. We cut up this block last night. So I'm going to sew B with E. This is E, right? No, E is this. Okay, so let's make a flying piece. I'm just going to move this over behind me so it's not. I'm just going to sew this because I can. And it's better I'd rather sew a block, a usable piece, than just scraps. Go. Press, set my seam. Oh, this looks so much better. That one looks really wonky. I don't know if you can tell, but this one looks, this is the one with the oopsie doopsies. This is the more accurate block. Do you see the difference? I think I can see the difference, but I'm right here. So let me know if you can see the difference. There's no holes and it's laying flatter and it just looks better. So this was my whoopsie doopsies. And it's pressed better too. This one pressed wonky. Okay, so that one is just going, it's not even an orphan block. It's a I don't want you block. Oh, more science. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now to make this is 8.5. This center should be 8.5, which it mostly is. Is it? Is it? Oh, there's a little bit in this corner here, a little bit over there. That's it. So a little bit. I cut it. You don't have to square it up, but you can if you want to. I'll just throw that out of the way. Too many rulers. Okay. So now we're going to lay down our 8.5 by whatever these are, because we know that's how I knew this was 8.5. It doesn't say in the pattern, but I knew that the first piece that I put on was 8.5. So I knew that this needed to be 8.5 in order to match up properly. So we're going to sew this down. Okay. And so we're just going to frame our block. So in most cases with quilting, it's sides and then top and bottom. It's not always that way. So watch your patterns, but most of the time that is true. Just going to sew a bonus block here. That's for a quilting life block of the month. Those ones I don't teach, I just sew. Okay. So I'm going to sew the other side, the other strip along the other side. So one on the right and one on the left. There is no right or wrong way to this, except you want that horizontal seam to be running from right to left. So when you lay your block in your quilts, that's what you're going to be looking. I'm so happy with myself because I've been saying, oh, I got to get those possibilities blocks down. I have to get my table cleaned off. I did both today. I didn't sew them all, but we're getting there. It is almost lunchtime here, and I have to check on my laundry. I have a couple of things to pick up before we leave, but I had a package at the post office. I was like, wow, they usually say wait till 1 o'clock. So there we go. So now it should be 12 and a half because that's what this finishes as unfinished at. It is because it's a 12 and a half inch ruler. So it's the right width. It's not the right height yet. We don't have the right height. So we're going to lay out our pieces and we're going to sew those on top and bottom. So all with that background color. Now, of course, you could either make these, keep this a solid, for the one person who had asked, you could keep the background a solid and make all of these prints. You know what would look really nice and with some texture is tone on tones. Use an orange with an orange print or a slightly orange print or something like that. That would look really sharp. Or even if instead of using a solid blue, use a tone on tone, something with some texture. It would look really great. So we are stitching down here, making it look really great. So looking real good, nice and accurate. We're going to do one more of our bonus blocks, then we'll have to trim and press, but we can do another one before we do that. So trim that. Now, I'm not going to press this. I'll press it after I will press it. So I'm going to sew this down here like this, and I'll show you some other stuff I sewed this morning off the screen. I didn't want to come live and then have to be like, no, I'm not sewing the possibilities. I didn't want people to think I was sewing the possibilities blocks earlier than I had scheduled them to be. So I didn't want to come on and be like, oh, I'm doing this while I wait for the time to run out. Okay, so there's that. Now what you're going to do, that's what anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch away. Oh, I'll have a bonus block right there. Then you're going to press that. There we go. So that's one's ready to go. And now I have a bonus, so I can just sew this. Didn't take long to get a couple of bonus blocks, did it? All right, so I'm going to press this. Just going to sit here at the iron and press it nice and flat. Oh, it looks fun. So again, this is the Possibilities Quilt by Charisma Horton. Close that. So this is block 6. Block, I'm going to put it on a design board just because it makes it easier to show you. So this is block, oh, look at that. That fits on there really nice. Block 6. Block 6. So this one's a little smaller in the center. It's only 8.5. And then we frame it. So in the quilt, it'll show up smaller. You won't really notice the framing when it's in the finished quilt. It won't stand out like it kind of does now. Okay. Then for month 5, we did a larger one. Similar to that one, but larger. So we started with the larger one. There's the 12.5 inch finished. You need to get a brass boat to tow with the ATV now. A bass boat. Oh, Dave has a boat, so I don't need a boat. Yeah, so we're good. We have the camper. We have 2 ATVs now between all of us, between the 2 of us and a boat. So we should be good. And a truck. He has the truck and he bought the cute thing. I think this is really sweet. So I'm going to share something with you. We were talking about maybe you should get an ATV. Do you think you can afford an ATV? Is this something that you would be interested in getting? No pressure. but we had talked about it. And I said, yes, I think I'd like to do that. And it wasn't really an option, but I said, now that I have someone to ride with, I think that would be fun. I mean, other than my parents, because our weekends don't always match up. And so I was like, okay, that would be really fun. And now that I want to spend a lot more time up in Missinabie and up at the camp, I want to learn where things are and I want to drive around and discover things. So we I said, but I have no way to tow it. My car could tow things. It doesn't have a tow um, ability. There's no hitch on my car. So I'd have to get all that installed and it's quite expensive. And then I'd have to buy a trailer and I'd have to be careful what I buy because I'd have to be able to pull it with my car. And not really something that I would do a lot of. So was it so and Dave had a trailer for his bike, but only for his bike. It was too small for all of us to have our stuff there. So he bought a trailer that will put both bikes on it, plus gas cans and plus other things. So we'll have room for stuff. So I'm really thankful and feel very blessed that he did that. And he was buying the trailer regardless if I bought an ATV this year, next year. So I thought that was really sweet because he says there's no pressure. I'm buying the trailer because I want a bigger trailer because I find that this one's just a little bit too small now that I'm using it more. And I have somewhere to come up with it. And I can bring other things. So, but he also made sure that the trailer would fit my ATV should I choose to buy one. And I was able to get one. And so now we'll have them both on there plus other stuff. And that's really cool because that's what you do when you're partners, when you're working together, is you plan things together and you do things. And his daughter was very happy that I got one because then she knows we can go riding together and we're very excited. It wasn't, I'd love a purple. They don't make them in purple, but I got a nice red one and my helmet's purple. So very cool. So I will definitely show you that. If not Monday, then when I'm out in Missinabie driving. So again, just to recap, that was totally off topic, totally, personal thing, but I thought I'd share. This is Possibilities block of the month. This is month 5. This was May. Again, I missed May. I haven't made all of them, but I've made one and I'll make the other 3. So I'll have a total of 4, 12.5-inch. I don't know what they're called. I don't know. They look like a star, a different kind of a star, like a star that I could draw. That's what this looks like. So that's that block. And then we made a smaller version of the same block and framed it with a bunch of background. And that is month 6. So for June, this is the blocks you need to make. And you need to make 5. There's 5 different colors. And then they'll go into the quilt somehow, some way. And then and that's what we made. So thank you for joining me. I think they turned out really great. This one, again, I ended up cutting this at more like 6 inches than the 5 that I had started out with, just to make it work. So I'll just keep that in mind. It turned out much better than my oopsie doopsie one. So thank you for watching. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn off the YouTube. I'm going to keep you guys on because I want to show you